Hey, it's Grady at Twin Creek Audio, back in the studio today. Just sitting here in the studio, planning the next video for this channel, and I've been thinking a lot about an album that I made 10 years ago. It was my first solo album where I played most everything on the record myself, and it was the first project that I did in software, in a digital audio workstation, which at the time I used Sonar. I believe it was Sonar 8.5. So I've been wanting to revisit that album and some of the songs on it. In particular, one of them, when it came out on the streaming services just a few years ago, actually got a lot of plays. So I'm going to be pulling some of the Subliminal Moonshine material off of a backup drive and then into the modern equivalent of Cakewalk Sonar, which is BandLab Cakewalk, so that I can export all the original tracks, which all of that stuff is live instruments still, but it was recorded through, digital interface and mixed in Sonar back at the time. So I'm going to pull all that off, which is going to take some work. The backup drive into the computer to convert it then onto the other computer and then through the mixing console. So let me get some of this stuff transferred so I can do some mixes.
Sunrise, except the sun hurts my eyes. I can't see what's wrong.
So I did it. I managed to get all of the tracks, the original tracks from my song The Tallest Sky from my 2010 album Subliminal Moonshine into the computer, the backup drive into the computer to convert it then onto the other computer so that I can mix it through the Soundcraft Sapphyre. So I've already started trying to get some sounds and things in here. So let's check it out. I'm going to do this in somewhat the reverse order of the way it happens, like I did the last time. I'm going to go ahead and run the mix with the Sapphyre, and then I'll show you after the mix all the individual elements, the outboard gear, and the EQ settings on the console.
Sunrise, except the sun hurts my eyes. I can't see what's wrong with me. Can't explain what's gone wrong. It's been so long since I've seen your eyes. Look up to starlight. Which one is brightest in the sky? Listen to the wind blow. Think about how we all grow to love and remember that we hope to reach out for something. You just never know.
So here's proof that something doesn't necessarily have to be perfect to be really cool. I mean, this has got some noise in it in the background, probably from the fact I had the plug plugged into the phone playing the little robot synth on it, or maybe from the bass guitar DI. I don't know, but it still sounds really cool. I'm actually using the gates on the Soundcraft Sapphyre today. I have the 2 tom tracks gated, so it just cleans up the mix a little bit. This is the stereo acoustic guitar track, which is a mic, one mic in front of the guitar and one over the shoulder. I don't remember which mics. Sorry about that. I don't remember what mics or preamps it was, but I do remember it was an old Yamaha FG160E. And the EQ on that, got a little bit of that high shelf boosted, and a little bit, it's right around 1 kilohertz is I think what I'm shooting for, and then I'm removing a little bit of low mids there with that EQ. This is the stereo acoustic guitar track, which is a mic, one mic in front of the guitar and one over the shoulder. I don't remember which mics. Sorry about that. I don't remember what mics or preamps it was, but I do remember it was an old Yamaha FG160E. And the EQ on that, got a little bit of that high shelf boosted, and a little bit, it's right around 1 kilohertz is I think what I'm shooting for, and then I'm removing a little bit of low mids there with that EQ. These next 2 channels here, this is the lap steel guitar, and this is that iPhone Bebot synthesizer track. And so that's here on these 2 faders. Neither of these have any EQ on them. And the lead vocal also is not EQ'd here. Actually it is. Let's see. Lead vocal, I'm taking out a little bit of low mids and then boosting a little bit of that 12K, which is actually a really sweet sounding EQ here on the Sapphyre. I love my Yamaha Rev 500, so I'm using that again. This time I went with the small hall 1 preset, and that delay time has been tweaked to 1.2 seconds. I have the Urei LA-10 on the bass guitar with those settings. And then I'm not using the 501 on the snare. The snare is being sent to the compression submix, but not through a compressor on its own. I reserved the 501, Symetrix 501 this time for the vocal track. And those are the settings I'm using on the lead vocal on this song. Then I'm doing the parallel compression thing again with the LA Audio 4x4 compressor. And here are the settings I'm using today on that compression submix. And I have drums and a little bit of acoustic guitar being sent to that. The only things being sent to this using the aux sends on the console are the lead vocal and then the crazy robot synthesizer thing, the Bebot app on the iPhone. I mean, I use just whatever stuff I can afford. A lot of old analog gear, stuff you can get. I mean, I don't have any 1176s or an LA-2A. I don't have a whole lot of really cool stuff. Even my interfaces that I use for recording into the DAW are old. You know, they're Firewire. Nobody uses Firewire anymore, but I do because I don't have a lot of money. So I champion all the stuff that you can use to make really great recordings. And I just happened to have gotten lucky and ended up with things like the Soundcraft Sapphyre back here, the Soundtrax Topaz, really inexpensively, and they sound great. So I'm here to show you that you can make great sounding recordings with older interfaces, older mixing consoles, different things like that. Well, it was really fun and enlightening to mix this song that I did 10 years ago purely on a DAW. Although I did use the Soundtrax Topaz for the drum preamps, and I used a Great River ME1NV mic preamp on a lot of the vocals and things, and probably on the acoustic guitar. I don't remember exactly what I used on that. I made a newer kind of studio performance video as a demonstration back in the spring of 2020 during lockdown. So I'll put a link to that video as one of the couple links at the end of this video and in the description, so you can check out the newer performance, a newer studio performed version of the same song. I have some more songs from the Subliminal Moonshine album that I've unarchived, dug up, so to speak, to mix on the console. So I'll have videos coming up with more of the material from Subliminal Moonshine, some very different kind of songs from this one. So make sure to check that out by subscribing to the Twin Creek Audio YouTube channel. Also click the notification bell icon for updates so it keeps you informed when I upload a new video here on this channel. Make sure to check all the links in the description of the video for ways to help support this channel and links relevant to the video that you just watched, as well as other videos and other cool things. I hope you all have an excellent and wonderful day, night, evening, weekend, weekday, hour, minute, second, nanosecond, whatever it is you're having. Have a good one, and thanks so much for watching.
Look up to the sunrise, except the sun hurts my eyes.